Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Clausy, and today we are here for something a little bit different, something I haven't done yet. Today we are here for none other than a deck profile. So with Link Summoning being right around the corner, and Pendulum's about to get nerfed and hit so damn hard, I thought before Link Summoning comes about, we should take my current favorite deck in the game and do a deck profile on it. So we are here today with none other than the ZARC Magician deck. As you guys can see, we have two of the very main cards in the deck, but that's besides the point. Why don't we get into this video now? Alrighty, so to start off this deck profile, you guys are going to want to run 3 of the Astrograph Sorcerer. This guy is not completely necessary for a Magician deck, but for a ZARC Magician deck, completely necessary. So this guy actually works very well in tangent with the Wisdom Eye Magician, since if you have one Wisdom Eye in him, Wisdom Eye pops himself, you special summon him, and then there's a second Wisdom Eye, and as all you guys should know, double Wisdom Eye is phenomenal. This card is so good in the deck, and it's definitely, in my opinion, a 3 of. Next off, we have another amazing card in this deck. We have the Harmonizing Magician. Honestly, the very best tuner in this deck, probably besides Luster Pendulum. I don't know, it could even be better, because when this thing is Pendulum Summoned, it actually searches another monster from your deck for you, which is pretty damn cool. Although it can't be re-Pendulum Summoned from the extra deck, still a phenomenal card. Obviously, you can't break a Pendulum tuner too much, but regardless of that, the Harmonizing Magician is phenomenal and definitely a 3 of in any Magician deck. Next off, we are running 3 of our very first ZARC Magician, the Double Iris Magician. So the Double Iris Magician is probably the best magician, probably the best of the ZARC Magicians, as he actually searches out your Time Pendulum Graph and your Star Pendulum Graph, which are both phenomenal cards. Along with that, he is a high scale, which is very usable, and he's one of your main targets off of your Wisdom Eye. Definitely a 3 of in the deck, and amazing card. Next off, we run into the second of the ZARC Magicians. We have Purple Poison Magician. I only run a 2 of the Purple Poison Magician. I've seen some people run a 3 of. I don't think it's really necessary to 3 of, as long as you have the ability to get this thing into your graveyard for ZARC. That's all you really need it for. But it also does have a pretty good ability, because if you did pop it, say for example, with your Dragon Pit or with a Sky Iris, it actually gets to destroy one of your opponent's monsters, or one of your opponent's cards, which is absolutely amazing. Definitely at least a 2 of in the deck. You could bump up to 3 of, but as for my playstyle, 2 of is perfect. Next, for our ZARC Magicians, we run 1 of the Black Fang Magician. I've seen a lot of people run the Black Fang Magician at 2 of and 3 of, and honestly, I'm thinking about maybe bumping it up to a 2 of, but as of current, I've always thought the Black Fang Magician is completely fine as just a 1 of in the deck. He does allow you to recycle your Dark Magicians, like your Dark Attribute Magicians, but in all honesty, I want most of them in the graveyard so I can get out ZARC in this deck specifically. So that's why I think he's better at just a 1 of, just for a ZARC summoning target, and yeah. Nonetheless though, pretty good card. Finally, for the last of the ZARC Magicians, we have the White Wing Magician. In all honesty, the White Wing Magician does not help make the ZARC Magician deck any faster, doesn't help make the deck any better. Honestly, you would never run this card except for the fact that, hey, it's one of your ZARC Magicians that help you get out ZARC quickly. And because of that, you do run this card as a 1 of in the deck. It is a tuner, so it can be used for Synchro Summoning, but you never do use it for Synchro Summoning. It's one of the worst cards in the deck, but nonetheless, it's going to be needed as a 1 of. Next off, we get into what, in my opinion, is the very best card in the deck, being the Wisdom Eye Magician. Once this guy was back at 3, it was actually crazy. I've never liked pendulums until the new ban list came out where we could reuse the Wisdom Eye Magician. I tried out Magicians for the very first time, and I've actually fallen in love with the deck. I'm so sad that Link's Luminous coming out is going to nerf this deck when I'm still in like the testing stages of it almost. But nonetheless, Wisdom Eye Magician is an absolutely phenomenal card. It gets +1s for you just right away, not a problem. You can recycle it with your Oath Dragon. Along with that, it can get out any of your Magicians for you. It combos off with Astrograph really easily. It's overall an absolutely amazing card. And you can't go wrong. You definitely run 3 of this no matter what version of the Magician deck you are running. Next off, we have 4 of the oldies. Besides the Wisdom Eye, we run 1 Oath Dragon to help recycle our Wisdom Eyes back to our hand. We run 1 Dragon Pit because it can pop our scales for us and get their effects off, or just free up a scale zone. We run 1 Dragon Pulse Magician to help us get over Masterpiece, because this currently Masterpiece is meta as fuck. And finally, we do run 1 Noble Dragon Magician. Not like a super great card, but I still do run the Clearwing Synchro Dragon as another Synchro Dragon target besides White Wing Magician for ZARC. I want to be able to get ZARC out potentially twice in case the first summon doesn't work. And I'm also thinking about maybe bumping ZARC up to a 2 in the extra deck. So yeah. Now, with our Magicians taken care of, we move on to the second half of the monsters, being the Odd Eyes / Performapal monsters. So first off, obviously, we run, besides Wisdom Eye, probably the best card in the deck, being the Performapal Skullcrobat Joker. This guy literally searches out any of your Magicians or any of your Odd Eyes monsters for you, and he is overall a phenomenal card. He was at 1 up for a reason, he's back at 3, and he's one of the best searchers in the deck. Cannot go wrong, and you definitely run a 3 up with this card. Next, since I hate Zoo and we are running the Odd Eyes engine, you do run a 1 of the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. I use him plus Ashgraph a lot of the time to make rank 7s, and he is searchable off of Skyers, which we do run as well. Since we don't just want 1 Odd Eyes target, we do run 1 Odd Eyes Mirage Dragon as well. This guy could be substituted out for a Odd Eyes Unicorn, an Odd Eyes, what's the name? The Odd Eyes that's like 40, Odd Eyes Persona. Honestly, I probably would run Odd Eyes Persona over this, but I don't want to go below $40 on that card. So we're going to stick with the Mirage Dragon. I don't use it too often, but it is a high scale if necessary, and is a pretty decent card. So I do run it as a 1 of in the deck. Next, for our non-archetype Pendulum monsters, we run 2 Archfiend Eccentric. It is honestly one of the very best Pendulum monsters that have ever came out. Very nice as a secret rare, I must say. And along with that, it's just basically an MST and a high scale. You cannot go wrong with that. I usually just use this card to play, then use Duelist Alliance to search, and then use it to pop my opponent's back row. It's an absolutely phenomenal card, and is great up against the Mirror Match to pop your opponent's scales. Phenomenal card. Definitely a 2 of, maybe a 3 of, but I love this card. Finally, to round off our monsters, we play 1 Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. Luster Pendulum is sadly only at a 1 up, but then again, I probably only run it as 1 up. It is probably the best tuner in the deck. Absolutely phenomenal card, and allows you to go into some very powerful synchro monsters between Ignis of Prominence, Bells, and Psyframe Lord Omega. Now, getting into the spells here, first off, we have a 3 of the very best spell in this deck, in my opinion, being Duelist Alliance. Sadly, I've only had the opportunity to get my hands on 1 copy of this card, but I will be just proxying it with just 2 playing cards. Just kind of ignore that. But Duelist Alliance is definitely a 3 of in this deck. Absolutely amazing card, as it can search out your Luster Pendulum. It can search out your, what else can it? Double Iris, It can search out your Odd Eyes Pendulum. It can search out your Pendulum Call. It's an amazing search in the deck. It's actually the very best search card in the deck, and you definitely want that card as a 3 of, no matter what. Next off, we have one of the very main targets for our Duelist Alliance being Pendulum Call. I run Pendulum Call as a 2 of because I do not think it's worthy being a 3 of, as it does stop your magicians from activating their effects. But if you do brick and you open up with this card or a Duelist Alliance, you can unbrick your hand by activating this card. It gets you 2 magicians, 2 different name magicians of your choice, and can give you a high scale and a low scale and allow you to go off with some cool plays. I don't like using it too often, but it definitely is a necessary card in the deck as at least a 1 of, but personally, 2 of for me. Next off, we get into our field spell being the Sky Iris, since we are playing the Odd Eyes version of the deck. This is going to search out for us our Odd Eyes monsters as well as our Odd Eyes fusion spell card. And yeah, it also gives us protection for our scales, and overall is a very good card. Obviously, to search out our Sky Iris, we run 2 Terraforming, and as a 1 of in this deck, as another target search for the Sky Iris, we do run an Odd Eyes Fusion. Along with it being a target for Sky Iris searches, it is also a very good card when going second, especially against Zodiac or cards that establish a board very fast, because this card can basically fusion summon for you a free Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. It is absolutely phenomenal, and overall, pretty good card, and I think it's worthy of being a 1 of. Next, to run off our spells, we run the first Pendulum Graph, being the Star Pendulum Graph. This card is very great, especially in tangent with the Wisdom Eye Magician, as when Wisdom Eye pops itself to search, this card will also search. Along with that, it does defend your spellcasters, I do believe, from being targeted with effects. So, overall amazing card. And then lastly, we run our 1 trap, being the Time Pendulum Graph, as it is searchable off of the Double Iris and Duelist Alliance. It basically helps stun your opponent, and is overall a pretty good card, and definitely a 1 of in the deck. If you're running more of a stun variant, then maybe a 2 to 3 of. Alrighty, so now moving on to the extra deck, we have the mascot on the mat, and the main focus of the entire deck, we have the Supreme King ZARC himself. The only secret rare so far that I've actually pulled from a Maximum Crisis pack, even though I've opened roundabouts 70, 80 packs, and somehow I've only pulled 1 secret. I don't think I'm a very lucky person. Anyway, not the point. ZARC is an absolutely phenomenal card. He's very easy to get into through your ZARC Magicians and the Astrograph Sorcerer. And once he hits the field, he's literally just a board wipe. He wipes out your opponent's entire field, and he's just a 4K beater, just a swing at your opponent. Absolutely phenomenal card, and if you're running the Astrograph Sorcerer, a must have in this deck. And honestly, ever since I pulled them, I loved them. I mean, I am Dragon Tamer, as you can see. Alrighty, next off, we have our other fusion monster, being the Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. As I stated before, the Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon is the target for the Odd Eyes Fusion, the only target in our deck, and he's actually a pretty good card, I must say. Probably one of the best Odd Eyes cards in the extra deck, as he is protection for your monsters. Also, in the original version of ZARC, the ZARC deck that I made before the Magicians came out, he was one of the main cards that you need to go into to get ZARC. Not the point. Really good card overall. Don't go into him too often. I might end up cutting him and the Odd Eyes Fusion, but at this point it really doesn't matter. I'm probably just going to leave the deck because this deck is soon going to have to change a lot if I want to make it viable again. Anyway, let's move on to the Synchro Monsters. So, first off, for our Synchro Monsters, we run 1 Igniser Prominence. Absolutely phenomenal card, as it can bounce opponent monsters back without targeting. We run 1 Psy-Frame Lord Omega, which I do not have, so this is being proxied as well. I'm not gonna go buy it like online for like $40 when Battles of Legend Light's Revenge is literally on the way in the mail and will hopefully be here soon for me to open, hopefully pull a Omega. Along with that, we are also running Beals of the Diabolic Dragon, which I also have to proxy, sadly once again, but it is a phenomenal card. It's like $40 though. That's just a lot of money to spend on one card. Although I'm going to be doing that with Dragonic Diagram. That's the point. Next off, or for our last Synchro monster, we do run the Clearwing Synchro Dragon, as we can go into it thanks to the fact that we still have our Noble Dragon. Also, still only run one of the ZARC magicians, that is the Synchro monster, being the White Wing Magician. This is like another target if ZARC fails to be summoned the first time, or if I later on decide to run 2 ZARCs. Next off, for the XC's monsters, we run 1 Odd Eyes Rebellion and 1 Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. I don't usually go into these guys, although I can go into the Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, but these guys usually aren't targets to go into, but in fact targets for the Odd Eyes Fusion spell card. When you go into Vortex Dragon, you use these 2 as fusion materials, as one is a pendulum monster and one is an Odd Eyes monster. Or they're both Odd Eyes monster, one takes the pendulum part of fusion. So that's these two's main use. Obviously you can't go into Rebellion otherwise, but Absolute can be used every now and again and will be used every now and again. Next off, we have the Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, which is basically the only rank 7 I ever go into using Astrocrap and my Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Absolutely phenomenal card, just burning your opponent each time they use a spell card, just punishing them for it. And yeah, you literally can't go wrong, just a really, really powerful dragon. Next off, we get into our rank 4 engine, starting off with our 2 Time Star Magician. Probably the very best card in the extra deck, in all honesty, as it does go ahead and search out our magicians. Any dark spellcaster type monster, this card can search out. I search out a lot of the times Skullcrabat, Astrograph, honestly any of them. They're all extremely good and searched out by Time Star. Next off, because we can't always go into our Time Star magicians, we have one alternative to him, being Magister Paladin. I do run one of a Magister Paladin instead of running 3 Time Star, because you can't always go into Time Star, but you can basically always go into Magister Paladin. And Magister Paladin is an absolutely phenomenal card and definitely worthy of being in the deck. Finally, for our last 3 monsters, we do just run 3 generic rank 4s, one being Castell, pretty self-explanatory, and probably the other one would be the Utopia package, but I can't afford that. So instead, we run 1 Dark Rebellion XC's Dragon, and a card that I also don't have being either Up to You Guys Tornado Dragon or Diamond Direwolf, dependent on your personal preference. I prefer Tornado Dragon in my opinion, but Diamond Direwolf isn't a bad card either. Also, another reason why I run the Dark Rebellion is because I only run 1 of the XC's Magicians in my deck, and Dark Rebellion is the other option for the fusion summon besides the Black Bang Magician, which is why I run both him and the Clearwing in the deck, because they are the Synchro Dragon and the XC's Dragon that I can use besides using just the Magicians. Now, for one more thing that I want to do during every deck profile, I want to show you guys at least one combo that you can pull off with this deck. And for this one, I've decided to show you guys a 3-card combo using 1 Skyris and a double Wisdom Eye. So why don't we get into this combo? We'll have to zoom out, that's in. Zoom out a bit for this, you guys can have a better view. But so to start off this combo, you guys are going to go ahead and activate both of your Wisdom Eyes. Then what you're going to do is activate 1 Wisdom Eye to pop itself to go ahead and go into your deck and search out for yourself a Oath Dragon Magician. Next, you're going to use your Oath Dragon to recycle your Wisdom Eye back to your hand with your Skyris. You're going to go ahead and pop your second Wisdom Eye to go ahead and grab for yourself the Double Iris Magician. So you have a high scale and a low scale, but right now this doesn't matter, because what you're going to do now is go ahead and activate your Skyris. Use your Skyris effect to pop your Double Iris Magician to go ahead and search your deck for a Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Next, because you popped Double Iris Magician, its effect is going to go off, searching your deck for a Star Pendulum Graph. So you've already gone +2 with this. Next thing what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and activate your Star Pendulum Graph and activate your Wisdom Eye. Use your Wisdom Eye's effect to pop itself, this time to go ahead, special summon, or go ahead and put the Black Fang Magician into your Pendulum Zone. And then Star Pendulum Graph's effect is going to go off, allowing you to search your deck for a Harmonizing Magician from deck to hand. That's already pretty good if you ask me, but now what you're going to do is go ahead and start Pendulum Summoning with your 8 scale and your 2 scale. So what you're going to go ahead and go into here is going to be both Wisdom Eyes, your Double Iris, and your Harmonizing. So we'll just move our scales out of there. Now, Harmonizing's effect is going to go off, allowing you to get another monster from your deck, and you're going to go ahead and grab your White Wing Magician. Now, with this amazing field setup, you're going to start syncing and XC summoning. So you'll start off now syncing your Harmonizing Magician with your Double Iris Magician, sending them both to the grave. Just put them both over there to go into one of your level 8 synchros, since it's up to you guys, but we'll just go into Ignis or Prominence here. Now what you're going to go ahead and do is overlay one Wisdom Eye with your White Wing to go into your Time Star Magician. You're going to detach your White Wing to the graveyard to go ahead and search your deck and add Skullcrabat Joker to your hand. Now, in case you guys haven't noticed yet, we have yet to use our normal summon, so we're going to be able to go ahead now and simply normal summon our Skullcrabat Joker. Then use its effect to search your deck, and we'll add the Purple Poison Magician from deck to hand. Now what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to overlay your Skullcrabat with your Wisdom Eye to go into Magister Paladin. Then when you end your turn, Magister Paladin's effect will go off, adding a Wisdom Eye from deck to hand. So from just those 3 cards, you have went ahead and you have gotten a +3. You got a +7 off of those 3 cards. Plus, you might be able to extend your combo plays, as you probably have 2 other cards in your hand. So just a little combo, actually a fairly big combo that I thought I'd show you guys, which can generate so much advantage against your opponent and give you some very powerful monsters and a lot of protection. So yeah. Anyway, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did, make sure you smash that like button down below. Also subscribe if you enjoy my content. I'll be back with you guys again, most likely in link summoning format with some more deck profiles. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.